Psychology of overthinking. Why do people overthink? Have you ever found yourself in a situation whereby you know what you want to do, you have plans to do it, but you instead of you taking action, you realize that you spend time thinking about it and get to a point that you couldn't decide on it, or what to do, how to do it again, and you fail to do it. Have you ever found yourself in a situation whereby something requires of immediate action? But instead of you taking that step, you actually fail to take that step because you are engrossed with thinking. It happens to all of us. It happens to so many people. In fact, millions of people have been affected by this problem. And today, we'll be breaking down this. You will learn a lot in this video about overthinking and how to actually stop overthinking. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. This is Psychology Compass, where we unravel mysteries behind human behavior, psychology of success, and generality of behavioral science. Because we understand that if you capture your own mind and you are able to understand other people, that is where self-development begins. So thank you, and subscribe to this channel because we'll be learning a lot. Now let's go. I threw the question at the beginning of this video that have you ever found yourself doing that? The truth is this. All of us have at a time in life did that. At a time in life, we've encountered in thoughtfulness, time wastage in thinking before making a decision. It happens to a lot of us. Now, thinking itself is not bad. Thinking is not a problem. As a matter of fact, thinking is very, very good. It gives you mindset of what to expect. It gives you the prepare. It prepares you for things to see ahead. It makes your mind to actually see the picture of what you're trying to do, and eventually, in case of any eventuality, you'll be able to face the challenge. You'll be able to solve any problem that you can't out of the way. That's what thinking does. But overthinking is the negative, is the opposite of that. Overthinking is the opposite of that, because overthinking is you moving in circles about a thought without actually moving forward. And the irony of it is that it makes you feel like you are busy. It makes your mind to be busy. It occupies your mind like something active, something is actively happening. But in reality, nothing is happening. You've only been engrossed with your own thoughts, thinking it is what you need to do. No, it is not productive at all. Because before you know it, it will keep wasting your time. You waste a lot of time on that thought. You will even suffer what we call information overload, where your mind will be occupied with so many things that you may necessarily not take any action again. And at the end of it all, you realize that weeks, months, and everything, and time has gone. Instead of you to take action, you fail to take action. That is what overthinking does. It keeps your mind busy doing nothing. It makes you feel you are solving a problem that is not even existing. It makes you feel like you are preparing yourself for tasks ahead without even facing anything. Because the real progress starts the day you make a step, the day you take a step to do whatever you plan to do. The hours of thoughts, the hours of overthinking becomes useless, because in the real sense, what you're going to encounter will be different from what you are thinking. Let's, for example, now, if you're thinking about a lion, as majestic, as powerful as lion is, that thought cannot actually be equated with facing a real lion. If you are thinking about how to escape in the presence of a lion, that thought itself cannot solve any problem if you are faced with a live lion. That is the difference. So overthinking is like keeping your mind busy trying to solve a problem that has not even existing. And even if that problem should even occur, whatever you have thought may not even necessarily be the solution. So why do people overthink? I should ask you, or let me be direct. Why do you overthink? If you're not careful, it's a trap. You may not even identify the problem. That is why you have to watch this video to the end. Because if you do not see it as a problem, you will not know how to stop. So the problem is, why do you overthink? Why do you always overthink a certain decision? Number one reason why you do that is because you are scared of failure. Overthinkers are usually scared of failure because human mind was not created to face or to accept failures. It affects our ego, it affects our sense of worth. So we do not want to actually fail. That's why we overthink. We try to actually see ways to actually prevent us from failing. So in the process of seeing so many ways to prevent us from failing, we may end up feeling less discouraged about whatever you want to do. Because thought will have overwhelmed us. We may actually see it as if instead of failing at all, let me not try. Instead of failing, let me not try at all. So it happens to a lot of people because fear of failure it gives us the feeling of less value to ourselves. It makes us feel like people should not associate failure with me. So that's number one reason why people overthink. Number two reason why people overthink is because of judgment. Judgment in the sense that you do not know how people will react, how people will perceive your action, how people will perceive your response, how people will see what you are doing. So that feeling of I don't want people to judge me will keep you in your mind, and you start thinking on how to do it without people having to say anything. And in reality, you end up not doing it. For example, now, if you are planning to start a business or something as simple as a YouTube channel, and you want to give it your all, but you are scared of people's opinion, people's judgment. That would they like your videos? Would they like your face? How would you go about it? Would they applaud you? Would they commend you? Would they condemn you? If your mind is occupied with so many of these thoughts, you end up not doing it. Because fear of judgment is another thing that affects people's psychology. The third reason why people overthink, that leads us to the third reason. Reason why people overthink is because by nature, our mind feels our mind like familiarity. Our mind likes familiarity. Whatever we are used to, that we know certainly that this is a familiar thing for us. We like to actually associate with it more than experimenting. We like to actually associate with what we are used to more than experimenting, because experimenting will mean another another task, another exposure, another unforeseen circumstance, and such thing will definitely prevent your mind from taking action. So those are the reasons why people overthink. And now the question that pops up in your mind should be, how do I stop overthinking? How do I stop overthinking? It is simple, but it is practical in nature, because you can't argue with your mind and think that the problem will solve or the problem will disappear one day. No. The more you argue with your mind, the deeper you get stuck into it. So the easiest way to stop overthinking is you having a clear breakdown of things you want to do, the tasks you want to do. Number one, you actually get a sheet of paper, write down what you want to do, put it down into writing. I want to start a business. Put it down in writing. Number two is, where do I train? Where do I get trained for this business? Where do I get trained for this business? Number three should be, who will train me for this business? Who will mentor me on this line of business? Number four is, how do I get funds or support for this business? Number five is, when do I start? You see, in these 5 steps now, you've broken down the process into achievable success by each step. So each step you take, you tick, you applaud yourself for doing it. Each step you take, you tick, you applaud yourself for doing it. So by the time you actually give it a time frame of about, let's say, maximum of 4 days, you must have laid a solid foundation for the business you want to do. And the next line of action will be the step action taken. Take the step. Because 1 minute of one step taken along the line of action is better than hundreds hours of overthinking. That is the difference. When you take action, when you grind on it, you learn on it, mistakes will come. You learn from the process, you continue. That is how achievers achieve. There's a huge difference between thinkers and achievers. Because in reality, the world itself does not favor thinkers. Thinkers are, are, are always in their own mind. But achievers are always out there making things happen. And it is better for you to be an achiever than a thinker. Because in achieving, you feel fulfilled. Fulfillment comes when you achieve a certain goal. So when you break down the tasks into simpler ones, you'll be able to follow the steps and you'll be able to achieve. That is the difference between being a thinker and being an achiever. Now, thank you so much for following me this far on this video. And I really appreciate your presence. If you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell because every week we will unravel human behavior, psychology behind what we do, how we perceive others, and generality of behavioral science. Because when we actually understand each other, we will be able to get to a point of self-discovery and at the same time self-improvement. So thank you, and I really appreciate it. See you in the next video.